Could y'all imagine how Caesar would have reacted if he heard about Harambe? Honestly, I think Caesar would have crashed out just from hearing the term human alone. R.I.P. Harambe. Your legacy will forever live on. So, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is the latest installment in the Planet of the Apes franchise. The film is directed by Wes Ball, and it stars Owen Teague, Freya Allen, and Kevin Durand. Many years after the reign of Caesar, a young ape goes on a journey that will lead him to question everything he's been taught about the past and make choices that would define a future for apes and humans alike. First and foremost, this movie looks gorgeous. Like, the on-site locations are just absolutely remarkable and breathtaking. When you look at some of these shots of these on-site locations, it really does feel like you are watching a 2.5-hour documentary by the National Geographic Channel on what would happen if apes really did take over the planet. The set pieces are beautiful, the production is beautiful, and to make matters even better, the cinematography is groundbreaking. Again, there are a lot of incredible shots in this movie. Like, some of these shots legitimately look like 4K wallpapers you would have as a backdrop. And going into the production, the visual effects are top notch. If you remember, the original trilogy used motion capture for the apes, and I believe they did the same for this movie as well. The apes in this movie look so realistic that it is almost terrifying. Now, I know we've been going through a weird era of really piss poor visual effects in a lot of big budget blockbusters. That is not the fault of the visual effects artists. That is these companies trying to put all of their visual effects artists on crunch time. Overall, great cinematography, great visual effects, and such remarkable use of on-site locations. Now, the story. I liked it. For the most part. Look, when I first walked out of this movie, I loved it. I absolutely loved the story. But then during that car ride home, that drive home where I really thought about the film, there are some problems with it. One of the biggest problems with this movie is that with the story, it almost feels like two different movies in one. You have the apes versus the other apes, and then you have the apes versus the humans. And the movie tries to weave it all in, and I feel like it didn't do that much of a good job, because when you look at the very end of this film, it is clearly setting itself up for a trilogy, which I'm all for, but I feel like the way they handle both storylines in this movie was kind of I like both storylines, but I feel like there should have been a better balance. This may be a bit of a hot take, but I have seen some reviews online of some folks that say that this movie fails to capture the magic of the original trilogy. And honestly, I don't know if I can fully agree with that. Because listen, and this is just me, I just believe that it's not fair to compare one movie to an entire trilogy that spent 3 movies trying to build up that magic. I think we should let this potentially new trilogy play out first, and then see what happens. But going into the characters, I liked them. I thought Noah was a very relatable and solid protagonist. This man is all for his family and all for his clan and just protecting apes as a whole. Now listen, Caesar is by far one of the greatest protagonists in this entire franchise and just really in pop culture history. Filling up those shoes were not going to be easy, but I think the movie made Noah a pretty solid protagonist, and I can't wait to see what they do with his character moving forward. I really enjoyed Proximus Caesar. I thought he was a great antagonist. He was menacing, he was intimidating, and honestly, he kind of gave off a little bit of Homelander vibes, where you have this guy who's in a high position of power, and he is just so full of himself. If you say one thing that doesn't align with his viewpoints, or if you are not on his side, get ready to fight, brother. As far as May goes, I think she's okay. There is a lot more to her character, and I won't get into what they do with her character, but given how this movie ends, yeah, I'm really curious to see what they do with her, and especially the conflict that arises between her and, wow, I almost said Caesar, between her and Noah. This movie has some great action and great tension, especially in the final act. I can name you a plethora of great action and great intense moments throughout this entire movie, because there is a lot. As far as the pacing goes for this movie, me personally, I didn't have a problem with it. I can see why some people may have felt like the movie was a bit boring in the second act, or it dragged a little bit in the second act. But me personally, I was on board all the way. But in the end, y'all, I absolutely enjoyed myself with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I know some people are going to have their differences on this movie, and I think that is perfectly fine. But y'all, I cannot sit up here and lie and say I didn't have a fun time. So, plugging Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Into the rank system, I am placing this one into the pinnacle zone. What if the next movie is called Battle for the Planet of the Apes? Hey, that's not a bad title, you feel me? But yeah, y'all, that is pretty much my review for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys thought about the film. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you excited for this potential new trilogy? Do you think Uncle Ruckus loved this movie? Whatever you... Jesus Christ. Whatever you thought, let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, guys, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And I will see you all in the next one.